What's up, people? What's up, people? What's up, people? We're back, SSC Podcast. And I can just tell by the off-the-air conversations that we have, this is going to be one of the craziest episodes that we've had yet to endure. Hey, thank you, everybody, for coming through. I won't indulge in what we were talking about. It's a certain way we were talking about maybe doing the show. I don't know. We'll get a vote on that after the fact. But with that said, I am one of your hosts, MM2K here, back for the return of SSC Podcast, episode 84. Let's introduce our panel. I know one is, getting himself together. But first, our good friend, Daryl Smock Jr. Daryl, how are you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing good, man. I'm excited for this show. You back, finally. Yo, Happy New Year to the chat. This is my first time being on, so Happy New Year to everybody here. And I'm just excited to talk about some gaming.
Awesome. Yeah, we got some great topics today to go over. I can't wait to get the panel's thoughts on it. Also, we got our good friend Ninja Guy X in the house of Stadia North. What's up, Ninja Guy X? How you doing, man?
Oh, doing well. It's good to be back. I'm all freshened up now. I'm very excited to start the show. Finally, it's gonna be a fun time. Yeah.
Absolutely. Hey, we just had a subscriber. It popped up on the screen, and my alert system is crappy. But whoever just subscribed, thank you so much. We appreciate the support, definitely. And I don't know if he's back. Is he back? Is this crazy guy back? Peter Cottontail.
Yeah.
I'm back here.
Oh, he's back? Okay. Pete, what's going on, man?
Yo, what's up? I'm chilling.
How's work and everything treating you, man?
Good. Busy as all hell, but I'm good. Yeah, work's been good, man. I've been chilling. Ordered a new webcam, which actually apparently it's here. Yeah. So that's here. And stuff. So I'm excited. Slowly getting everything together.
Great.
I can't wait.
Ain't nothing like starting the new year off with some new swag, some new gear, all
Yes,
that good
sir.
stuff.
I know,
my
that's
new
right.
TV, and I'm still trying to work it out. It's like I feel like I'm making like rocket fuel here and stuff. It's crazy. But with that said, welcome again, everybody, to SSC Podcast number 84. We are your panel today, and we're going to be talking about a variety of stuff. First and foremost, something I kind of snuck in right before the show started. We're going to talk about the Stadia Save Point, all the activity that happened in January. It's now wrapped up in a nice little bow on the Stadia Save Point blog post. We're going to talk about that, give our thoughts of what happened in January. Then we got Stadia games so far 2022. Remember, everybody was in a panic. They were losing their lunch, throwing up all over their shoes and their kneecaps. Oh, we don't know what games are coming to Stadia. Oh. And now we just got an explosion of games all over the place. That didn't sound too family friendly, but we got an explosion of games coming, and neither did that. And we cannot get enough of all these new game announcements. So we're going to talk about what we know of so far in 2022, give our thoughts, and talk about the two latest additions that we know of coming to Stadia, which is Dawn of Monsters and Oddballers. And then we're going to talk about these acquisitions. All these acquisitions are happening with Microsoft, PlayStation, everybody's buying up everything. Should Google get into the act? I've spoken about this a lot,
Yes.
and it's time for me to shut the hell up about it and ask the panel. So we're going to get the panel's thoughts on what should be happening as far as acquisitions are concerned. And lastly, we're going to talk about the greatest mystery, the ninth wonder of the world. What's up with Dying Light 2 on Stadia? Is it coming?
Yeah.
What the hell's going on? We'll get the panel's thoughts on that. We are going to try to squeeze in a quick after show. So it depends on how fast we're done here. And during the after show, what I want to do is something that grinded my gears. I really didn't get a chance to talk to the panel about. But good old buddy Phil Spencer, he's getting a lifetime humanitarian award or something for, I don't know, serving turkeys on the border or some shit, whatever the heck he's been doing. But Phil Spencer of Xbox, who's getting a lifetime achievement award, says he doesn't trust Google, Amazon, or Facebook getting into mainstream gaming. I want to get the panel's thoughts on that. Interesting stuff. I want to get the panel's thoughts on that. But before we get into all that, let's pay some bills. First and foremost, don't forget, and we actually got a participant in this, the Winter Community Championships for Stadia has already started, y'all. Okay? Already started. And what am I talking about? Let me show you something. I missed that, didn't y'all? Okay, here we go. So let's go down here to this article. This is by Jack Deslip, our good contributor to PNTS Network. And it's the week 1 details for the Winter Community Championships. They are here. You can go to pntsnetwork.com and you can sign up to participate in any of the weeks that you want, along with the grand finale tournament. You're going to get cash prizes along the way as long as you qualify. It's great stuff. And we got a participant in this. Ninja Guy X, I'm surprising him with this because I didn't tell him in advance. I wanted to get his thoughts on it so far. But Ninja Guy X, you're participating in this again. What are your thoughts on this week's contest?
Well, I am participating unofficially because I am part of the board this time around, so I'm helping out in planning the championship, right? So it wouldn't be really be fair because I know already some of the future games, and I'm making the rules for week 3, so it would really not be fair. Yeah, exactly. But I am participating whatsoever. I'm just unofficially and looking into what I'm doing. I am currently 3rd place. In the championship. There is some pretty insane people out there. They're, it's a lot more savage than last time, and a lot more participant too. So very exciting. It's cool to see that it's building up to being even more challenging, and that's what I like about it. The week 1 is Wreckfest, which is already started, but you can still apply, register for the tournament if you want to. Wreckfest is there until Sunday night. So Sunday at midnight, we take a snapshot of the scores on the leaderboard, and this is the score that we take. So the challenge this week with Wreckfest is that you have to do the weekly challenge. And so what happened when you do the weekly challenge? There's the scoreboard is getting updated every time that you try it out. So that's where we get the scores, and so it's a race that you get a score multiplier. As the better position you are, the better score you can get. So it's very challenging.
The cash prizes, like so far this week, what is this week's cash prizes, if you could remind me and remind the listeners?
Yep. So the prize pool in total is $900, and first place this week is $50. and second place is 25. And if you stream, you actually get in a drawing raffle where you can win another $25.
Jeez.
So yeah, it's a very cool championship. I love it, and it gives you a good incentive to actually try to beat those scores.
Yeah, it's time for me to get off the committee and participate.
Yeah, let's do it.
No. It's time for me to join in.
Yeah, hey, you guys better.
That sounds pretty fun.
So yeah, go to pntsnetwork.com, sign up. I mean, you can't miss out on playing games, which we're all doing here, talking about playing games and getting paid for it. I mean, can you imagine? Come on now, what are we doing here? Come and participate. It's all fun. I mean, we had a great chance. That's how I met Ninja Guy X. I put all my horse money on Ninja Guy X, and he came in. He was one of the finalists there. You know what I mean? So it's definitely something you guys want to participate in and enjoy the fun.
Yeah, I wouldn't even be probably a content creator if it wasn't for the championship. This is what gave me the boost to actually start, being more public and vocal about stuff. So it was very cool. Yeah. Absolutely.
Also, in regards to PNTS Network, our little website here, just wanted to let everybody know. And shout out to hashtag media guy, aka Cult of Stadia, for sending out a circular letting everybody know, hey, look, we're looking for writers. So if you like to write about video games in general, but particularly Stadia as well, let us know. And then we'll give you an opportunity to write articles, keep people abreast of the latest news, Stadia news and stuff like that. That'd be fantastic stuff. We're also working on a writer's incentive. Okay. We'll talk, anybody that's interested, we can talk about that behind the scenes, but there's going to be writing incentives. So if you're interested, definitely hit me up on Twitter, MM2K. You can also reach out to Jack Deslip as well. All right. With that said, on back to the panel. Enough of me and my babble. Panel. I'll start with you, Pete. What have you guys been playing this week so far?
Oh man, I got a whole list of stuff that I've been playing this week. Okay. So, of course, as usual, I'm always on Stadia. I've been playing Destiny 2 on Stadia quite a bit. I just claimed the pro game, so I started Life is Strange. I'm working my way through episode 1 right now. I'm just working all the time. Then I'm going to get to Before the Storm Remastered. I've been playing Bright Memory Infinity on my PC. I just bought Hunt Showdown, so I'm going to be playing that. And I'm starting to get back into Final Fantasy 14 because I haven't played in like 5 or 6 months. So I have a lot to do. So I've been playing like all kinds of stuff between all different services. Oh, and I downloaded because I have Game Pass too, so I've been playing No Man's Sky. Suck at it, but I've been playing that too.
Nice
busy list there. Way more than I've been doing. Smock, what you been playing, brother? What you been up to? Uh-oh. Now Smock kind of gave me. No. Smock gave me.
My bad.
Oh, that's all right. I was about to say, Smock, you kind of told me in advance, and I said I'm still going to put him on the spot. Smock, what you been playing this week?
Know what? I haven't played a single game this week. Not one. All I've been doing is working and sleeping.
I got you.
But I am excited for February 20th. You guys know why?
Yes, I know why.
I know Ninja Guy does. I know Ninja Guy does, but yes.
I have no idea.
The Witch Queen dropped.
Oh, yeah.
On February 20th.
Yeah, that's right. What's wrong with me?
Over 1 million people have over 1 million people has pre-ordered that game.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's nuts.
Yeah. It's the highest pre-order Destiny has had with Destiny 2 to date.
Awesome.
I'm just letting you guys know, like this game is going to be something crazy.
Can I ask Daryl Smart, because you're a resident Destiny expert? Is this Witch Queen DLC? Is it going to include previous DLC or just this one?
So it's not a DLC; it's an expansion to the game.
Okay, I got you. Okay.
So some stuff is going to be what Destiny 2 is doing now, since they have so much content. Some things are getting vaulted and to make room for the new space. So basically, so everything isn't cluttered, and so they have enough storage and everything in the Destiny game to actually push it out to past generation, current gen, and past gen and current gen players.
Gotcha.
So that's why they created the content vault. But yeah, it's a huge expansion. It's basically like a new game almost.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna get into that. I definitely want to try that and start, getting into Destiny a little bit more. I get lost trying to figure things out, but hopefully that won't be a problem once.
I could teach you that.
Yeah, we can run you through the whole thing. It's not a problem.
Yeah, it's actually incredibly easy.
Playing it by yourself could be a little confusing because there's no set direction on what you can do. But yeah, having somebody there to help you through like the first couple missions. After that, you'll be good.
See, I'm cool with the how to play. It's just like I don't know what the hell's going on. That's my problem.
Yeah.
Story wise,
you know what? I could show you. I could link you a video of somebody that literally goes through the entire Destiny story of like the entire story from Destiny 1 up until current. If you like listening and stuff like that. Okay,
cool. Excellent. Last but certainly not least, our good friend Ninja Guy X. Ninja Guy, what you been playing, man?
Yeah, so I've been playing a few things this week. What did I play Monday? I played something. I can't remember for most likely. Yeah, so I've been playing a lot of extension. At least last week, Rainbow Six Extraction. Oh my god, yeah, Extraction. Oh man, it's so much fun. I recommend it to people, who likes to play with a team and focus on PvE because this is the type of game for people. Other than that, I've given a first look at Fogs after the programs has come out, and Fog is a very silly game. I really enjoyed it. I'm definitely going to go back into it, when I have some time. But I had a really fun time giving it a 1 hour look. And then, so now this week I'm mostly playing Wreckfest because, for the tournament, I want to spend some time in there, encourage people to play it, and explain what you need to do. And so lots of Wreckfest, lots of cursing at the AIs because they're pretty reckless. Oh my gosh, they keep hitting you and stuff like that. It's just crazy, man. And but outside of Stadia, surprisingly, I started to play a Mobile Legend on that.
Oh my god! Please stop!
Yeah.
Please stop!
But it's so fun.
No, stop! I played that game back in before it even got released to the general public. It's called Mobile Legends Bang Bang. Yeah.
Yes. Exactly.
Stop! Yeah. I played that game, got paid to do spelling corrections and stuff, and then dropped.
Oh my god, that's funny. But that's been fun. That's what I've been doing outside of Stadia. But I also give Life is Strange a try. That's not what it's called, right? Life is Strange. Okay. And it's pretty fun. This is what I'm going to be playing. When I want to relax or when I have just a relaxing day with a beer or something. That's what I'm going to play. So. Very fun. Gotcha. Yeah, very, very versatile kind of week this week. So awesome. It was fun.
Great. Yeah, I mean, this guy's been, and I know he's been playing a lot. That's not even the tip of the iceberg of what Ninja Guy's been playing. He's been playing a lot of games, doing a lot more streams. And the guy's been playing so many games over the last few weeks that he's gotten title. We're going to call it title fry, meaning that he's forgetting the name of the games that he's playing. He's just playing so much, It's like being
Life is Reckless and Rainbow Six Destiny.
Life is Reckless. Life is Reckless. I like that. We should, we should copyright that. Make that happen. Just a game with the four of us. Life is Reckless. I like that.
Yeah, that's great. I love it.
With that said, just a quick reminder to folks. Thank you for joining us for us airing on this special night. we've been trying to figure out what we're going to do, what works best for the panel. We've been talking a little bit, and it looks like we're going to be going back to Wednesdays, but at this time. So mark it on your calendar. For now, we're still trying to get it, tightened up because life is reckless, for everybody. Everybody's trying to figure out when's the best time that they can do this. And I appreciate the panel coming through. So we want to make this comfortable for everybody as much as possible. So this is a special time for us this week, but just mark your calendars for next week because we are officially back. Same time this week, but on Wednesday instead. With that said, what I've been playing, Madden. Madden and trying out Division 2 on his damn LGC1. Oh my gosh. Like this has been the craziest thing to calibrate. I was just telling the panel right before we went live because I was running a little bit late, but that's nothing new for me. But I said, I got the streaming part of it together. That took a whole day for me to get the streaming part to work without it artifacting and doing a bunch of crazy stuff, right? So then I finally got that together like an hour before we were supposed to go live. So I said, let me try getting Far Cry 6 to work because it always works well for me. Here, lo and behold, when I booted it up, needed a damn patch, right? So that took a half an hour. So we're getting into extra crunch time. And I said, okay, now I get the patch working. Let me boot up the game and play it on this LGC1. For some reason, and I don't know what it is, the feed to the monitor or whatever, but your games can run into hiccups if everything's not set up right. The game was running at like 3 frames per second. I don't know what the hell was going on. So I still haven't figured that one out. Hopefully I'll figure it out by tomorrow. I think ultimately what I'm going to do is I might put out a video like what to do, particularly for those that want to get this for streaming content via your PC. If you're streaming game, what I can report is if you're streaming games via Stadia, the app, the native app on the TV, perfectimo. You ain't got nothing to worry about. It's only when you want to use this damn TV as a monitor that it gets very, very complicated. Frustratingly complicated. But it's a great looking TV nonetheless. The colors are great. The black levels, as I was telling Smock earlier, black levels were great. I mean, it's just a hell of a TV.
It's OLED.
But yeah, and it's an OLED. It's just the complications of getting it set up and getting it work.
Who cares about 5 FPS, right? As long as it looks good, right?
Yeah, exactly. As long as it sparkles, who cares if you're going matrix slow? Who cares? With that said, let's get on with today's show. Before we do that, I want to shout out to people in the chat real quick. Shout out to Tally Darkstar. He said he just dropped him through. Thank you very much, my friend. We got Kenja in the house. Got the notice just in time. Artemis Towers. He says, I don't listen to podcasts much, but it's your logic and objective perspective about the gaming world that keeps me in tune. Hey, we appreciate that, Artemis. Thank you so much. Life is reckless for us here on this panel, but we're glad that we can keep somebody informed. We got the Cowboy in the house. He says, yo, yo, yo. Nerds World in the house. Excellent. Hello, everyone. I'm telling my age with that one. Dustin Aran in the house. What's up, all? We got this guy, Daryl Smock, in the house. He said, what's good, chat? Psalmist Pro, we're back. Collins Dynasty, what's up, my friend? Chariot Man Gaming. He says, what's up? And what's up to the chat? What else we got in here? Jamie Reed. What did y'all doing? Loving the show. Thank you so much. Geek to Sneak. What's up, fellas? Jeremy Moan. Back-to-back days. Good to see my friend. I've been getting back in the Elder Scrolls Online on Stadia again, he says. All right. And that is everybody so far. All right. Let's get KBJ. What's up? You came in just in time. Also, one more thing. I know I've been blabbering. Ricky Martinez, this is my last plea. Ricky Martinez, you won the ref. Ricky Martinez is a member. He's been a member for a long time. I hope he's okay. I hope he didn't become a member and something happened and then he just, forgot to remove his membership. I hope everything's okay, my good friend. But if everything is okay, Ricky Martinez, you won a free controller last week. All right? Get a hold of me. Because if you don't get a hold of me by 11:59 p.m. tonight, guess what, members? We're doing this whole thing again tomorrow, So we're going to have the event. So, Ricky, I hate to yank this from you, but this is a prize that we got to give out, okay? So give me a holler on Twitter. Let me know that everything is okay. Let me know how I can get this prize to you. If not, then I'm gonna have to we're gonna have to give it to somebody else. Okay. All right. With that said, let's get on to today's show. Damn it. Can we do that? All right.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's talk about some games.
First and foremost, I do want to talk about this Stadia save point that came up. And it's interesting. Like, you know how we always talk about stuff, y'all, and we be like, oh, that wasn't so great, it was lackluster. But then they drop something like this. When you put things like on paper and you list it or you bulleted it kind of calms the masses down and gets them to shut the hell up and really just look at what's really going on. And that's what I love about these Stadia save points, is that they really do that. We think Stadia didn't do nothing this month, and then we look at everything that they did, and we're like, okay, maybe they did. So let me do this. I got to be a good host. Number one, I got to show you guys what the hell I'm looking at. Right?
You're a horrible host. I mean.
I'm horrible. I was gonna name a name that my wife calls me, but it has something to do with dogs and something else.
Okay.
and things that come out of dogs. So that's just her way of motivating me. Yeah, I guess. All right, Stadia save point January update, y'all. Just to touch on it briefly. They talk about last month, all eyes were on Rainbow Six Extraction, and that is so true. I can't keep talking about how amazed I was at that game, and I got hands-on with that game before it released for everybody else. So if y'all remember that show, I think at the beginning of January, where I was like, it'll all make sense. Like, it's different, but it'll all make sense. Now everybody, I think, knows what I'm talking about. We had Troll Hunters, Defenders of Arcadia, Fast and Furious, Space Racer, Rise of the Shifter. The January Pro titles, Darksiders 3, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, Shantae, Risky Revenge, The Dark Side Detective, A Fumble in the Dark, DreamWorks Dragons, Dawn of the New Riders, with 54 games in January for subscribers to claim. Jesus Christ. Last month, we also revealed the exciting milestone for Stadia Pro. As of February 1st, our included library for subscribers hit 50 games. Look at this nice little chart here. They getting all NLED on us. Shout out to NLED if he's watching. They getting all NLED and Jack Deslip on us with the charts. Look at the Stadia. Now, the purple or the orangish, the purplish orange part shows you the Stadia Pro games released by month. This then shows, the orange part shows you the Stadia Pro games that people can claim at one time. And if you look at that growth, how fantastic is that? So it talks about more of the games that were available via Stadia Pro, but I'm going to turn it over to the chat. We're going to start with Ninja Guy X first. Ninja Guy X, for you, what was the biggest attraction / accomplishment in January?
So yeah, January, for every platform, it's always a little bit slower, right? Just because the holidays are done and you don't get much. But for some reason, we still got a good AAA game here, Rainbow Six Extraction, which pretty much killed it, man. Like, it's been such a good title. And, again, and the pro titles, again, they delivered, man. Like, they don't mess around with that. They've been putting like a lot of good pro games. Plus, there's not a lot that's leaving too. So, we are getting like it's saying there, like 50 games. So it's really something interesting. But other than that, there's not much to talk about January. Like I said, it's a slow month. People don't seem to realize that for some reason on social network. Yeah. But now January is done, and we'll start seeing some more stuff from Stadia. So very exciting.
Awesome. Daryl Smock.
Yes.
Junior. That's how we're going to pronounce your name from now on. Junior. Daryl.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on January? What was the biggest thing that popped out to you personally, and what do you think will Stadia's biggest accomplishment altogether?
I'll just have to piggyback off of what Ninja Guy said. It's definitely Rainbow Six Extraction. I think that game is definitely a hit, But also Life is Strange. Like, don't sleep on Life is Strange. Even though are they running at 60
And that's
FPS
a good question.
They
Is it
are in perform. It runs in 60
performance?
performance
Oh,
mode.
so
okay,
that
Yeah,
performance
performance mode.
mode?
That's cool.
Okay,
yeah, it
cool.
So
has
yeah,
performance in high quality mode. So
I would
4K
say
30 quality and 1080 60 on performance.
okay. So yeah, definitely Life is Strange because I think that's pretty much a AAA kind of AAA game. In my
Mm-hmm.
head, it is because so many
Mhm.
people I've seen play it and Rainbow Six. Those
Yeah.
are definitely the two games. Have you guys been watching? I don't know. I've checked the pre-orders to see if anything new pops up there, but last year when I was looking at Life is Strange, for some reason it said December 2022. Last year, sometime last year, but then all of a sudden I seen it was dropping this month. So I'm like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
that's dope. But
Yeah.
yeah. So Life is Strange is definitely pretty big for me. The remastered.
You know what I think is happening, Daryl? It's great that you brought that up, and I kind of like babbled about this yesterday in my 4-hour rant. you can tell I missed the mic. Golly. My wife said, man, she's like, I don't know who the hell sits there and listens to your dumb ass for 4 hours, but she's like, God bless them. I said, okay, whatever, sweetheart. She's been very good in the motivating part of things the last few weeks. But anyway, with that said, she says, well, she said that to me yesterday, and I thought about, I was like, yeah, well, I was going like on a tangent. But when I was talking yesterday, we brought up. I lost my train of thought. What were we talking about?
We talking about
Life is
games. Life
Strange.
is Strange and
Life is
pre-order.
Strange.
The delay.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. We were talking about how Stadia kind of changed its template on how it was releasing games. And one of the things that we were talking about in the chat is Stadia is like doing a smarter thing. Like, and I think they did Dynasty Warriors 9 like perfectly. You know what I'm saying? Like where they said Dynasty Warriors 9 is coming and they just left it at that. And we got off, we started dancing in the streets and stuff like that and got all happy. And then the developers or the publishers came out and said, okay, guess what? It's coming day and date. And we just started celebrating even more. I think you're seeing more and more of that smarter way of approaching stuff as far as new games coming to the platform.
Yeah.
So that's why Stadia at first said Life is Strange is coming 2022. And then once it got solidified by the publisher, boom, there it is. So
yeah, I think Stadia definitely is being more strategic about their announcements and what they're doing because you don't like we haven't been hearing a lot of what's been going on with them lately. Like they've been keeping us updated with the biweekly posts and everything, but we don't know a lot about what's going on with Stadia right now. So them doing the announcement the way that they are, like you said, is actually kind of smart. They're not like trying to lead us on with anything. They're just saying this is coming, and then leaving it up to the developers to, give us more information about it.
absolutely.
Something.
Yeah, it's great stuff. I love it. Pete, what are your thoughts, my friend, on January and everything that's in this the save point? What are your thoughts?
Okay, so with the save point, I was actually just scrolling Twitter. It's actually really nice for them to have. It's a lot more content than it was from the last save point. And as Daryl just said, it seems like Stadia. I do not care what anybody says. I seriously don't, because my own Destiny clan is saying the same exact thing.
Oh wow.
None of you know what seems to be happening. They all say content matter, games matter, blah 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 blah. But if the tech don't run it and you don't have a base or the infrastructure to run it, then what does the content matter? You can't do anything with it if the content can't even run properly. So I think what Stadia is saying is basically forget the games right now. We're going to work on expanding to different countries. We're going to work on building up our player base, and then you attract the players, you attract the developers and the publishers. That should be easy enough to understand, and I think this basically got confirmed with the save point. And the fact that they are actually starting to slowly show the graphs and the data and stuff like that, which people have been clamoring for. So I'm glad that they're starting to do that.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. I'm with everybody pretty much sentiment on this. I think that Extraction, without a shadow of a doubt, was a bright spot. And then we heard a lot of murmurs, right, y'all, about all Stadia has is the Ubisoft to lean on. Ubisoft.
Oh my gosh.
This dude just said that right now, and he literally.
And I want to say
commented
something
this on
so
every
bad,
post.
but we gotta wait till we start talking about acquisitions. But I want to say something so bad.
I know. Yeah. I think we're all going to go on a tangent there. This might be a 9-hour show. No, but yeah, and sometimes I'm not going to get into a rant. Sometimes without us knowing everything, we like to put our own conjecture and fill in gaps and holes. That's why I was just quiet. I didn't say anything on Twitter as people were saying this. Why? Because I played Rainbow Six Extraction before 99% of the people that were told, that's all you got to lean on. And I said, once this game drops, you'll be happy that anybody's leaning on this game. And really for January, that was like the biggest game that anybody leaned on, right? So Stadia may not have every single game, but they month after month after month get the top charting games. You know what I'm saying? So that's a big key. And it was good to have Rainbow Six Extraction because it sucked all the oxygen out of the room for January. So it was a good showing.
Exactly.
So, real quick, before we go to the next topic, if you had to give a grade to January, just off the top of your head, we'll work it in reverse. I'll start with Pete. Pete, what would you give January if you had to give it a grade?
Are we talking like out of 10 or like A, B, C, D?
I guess we could do out of 10.
You know what? I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to say like a 7 out of 10. I'm going to go with 7 out of 10.
What about you, Smock?
Same thing. I was literally about to say 7 out of 10.
Right.
What about you, Ninja Guy?
I believe it's fair. I believe that's pretty fair.
I would have given it a 6, but because of Extraction, I'm going to give it an 8. I'm very happy.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Wow.
Good.
Extraction gave it 2 points.
Definitely. That was such a good month. Yeah.
Well, just to shake it up a little bit more, I was going to go with 7, but just because Ninja Guy X had to mix it up, I'm going to make it a 7.5. You know, just to be 7.5 out of 10. Yeah. Yeah, Rainbow Six Extraction. I mean, and here's the thing to think about it, guys. Shout out to my spiritual advisor, Clive Linden. He talked about February. And he was like, man, there's 7 games for February. And the 2 we got, the Life is Strange games, you know, that's probably because we got 7 games because of those 2 games. And people were wondering like, well, you know, were we going to get 9? And Clive wisely said, no, what probably happened is we probably had 2 other games that were slotted, but because they finalized when the remasters were coming out, they're bumping them maybe to March. You know what I'm saying? So you got to take that into consideration for January too. They probably knew. Trust me, if I got my hands on it, so did Google, and they probably knew that Extraction would be that damn good to where maybe they're moving some things around. So we'll see. It'll be interesting to see what we get for Stadia Pro in March. But yeah, I give January 7.5. All right.
Something to that I want to add too is that
yes, sir.
Extraction, like most people who stream that, like they got a lot more views on, like especially for Extraction. So people really like to watch people play Extraction.
Yes.
And it's been very popular, you know. Yeah. So like really, if like you said, if people say like, oh, they only release Ubisoft games, then good, you know, like that's what attracts people, right? So that's the point. So, you know, shout out to Ubisoft.
When it comes to franchises or IP, okay, Ubisoft runs into a snag here and there, but I think generally, as far as reaching their benchmarks, they've been the most successful ratio-wise. Maybe not monetarily, but ratio-wise. Like they have an expectation. This is what we expect this game to do, and they've reached it. You know what I mean? Like we just looked at the investor calls from EA. Matter of fact, let me just throw something in here just to spice things up. We got a big guest coming on the show. And I haven't even let you guys know about it yet, but we got a very big guest coming on the show. They're supposed to come on this week. They couldn't come on this week due to the investor calls and stuff like that, and that overtook their time. But they're going to be on next week. I'm going to talk to you guys about it after the show. But when you look at these investor calls, like EA, like Battlefield 2042 tanked. And remember how we were crying for that one? Let's get this. We gotta get this game up. And guess what happened? It tanked. Now I'm not saying I didn't want. I still want the game, damn it. I would rather have the game than not have it. But I think that it's not like, again, Ubisoft. An Ubisoft lawyer was walking one way on Main Street. A Google exec was walking the opposite way, and then they just bumped into each other, and contracts flew in the air, and they signed themselves, and then they just walked away, and they end up becoming partners. No. Stuff was looked over, stuff was curated, and if there was anybody that Google should be leaning on, I think the right choice was Ubisoft.
Yeah.
They were the right choice. You know, if you had to pick a number one, I think the right choice is Ubisoft. Now, do we want more? Absolutely. But I think Ubisoft, and Extraction proves it, y'all. When there really was nothing else going on all like that, having Extraction on this platform is a big deal. Period.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Absolutely. All right, let's get on to more games. This is what it's about. It's about playing these daggone games. More games. We got more games coming. Mo games, and mo game. All right, so first let's talk about it. We talked about the save point. Let's get past the save point. Let me put this up real quick. Bada boom, bada bing. Okay, my computer is like super slow. All right, let me show you something. Do it twice. All right, this week on Stadia Fast. Now, we haven't been around for a while, so I know some other people talked about this, but we want to give you our perspective on this. This week on Stadia, that was released last week, Fast and Furious Edition, where they talked about Rainbow Six Extraction. MotoGP 21 coming. Remember, that was the big ire. Oh my God, MotoGP, it's not coming. Oh my God, Stadia's shutting down. Well, it's here. Fast and Furious, the Troll Hunter, Nanotail, Maurice Market Hit Pro. What is that? Cosmos. I can't even read that.
Cosmos Star Hearing.
Cosmos Star Hearing. One hand clapping, and then Life is Strange and Fogs. I'm sorry, Dora. What were you going to say?
MotoGP. I seen that.
You know
yeah, MotoGP. Yeah.
I'm not gonna be ashamed to say, and I'm like kind of ashamed that I haven't tried it yet, but I want to try one hand clapping because I just find the fact that singing is a mechanic, and like it's like nobody's talking about that, like barely, and I'm like, seems like such like a kid's game, but the fact is I don't think there's a single other game on the market that you can do that, where you can actually sing the play, which is also great for people that might be just disabled or anything else like that, where you can't really use your hands to play. But if you can use your voice and you have a damn good singing voice, then hey, by all means, I'd love to see you play one hand clapping. It's a very good implementation of the technology that Stadia has.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and I think and you bring up an excellent point, Pete. What happens is we're so embedded in the talks of, is this game going to be 60 frames per second? And I'm guilty of that. 4K, 60, AAA, that we got these great mechanics happening with this brand new tech, vibrant tech, and it's going under the radar. So you're right. I mean, this is something that maybe I can embarrass myself, and this will be our next, my first look, and you'll hear me go, fa la 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 la, whatever. But Pete, you're 1,000% right. With that said, though, the Stadia Pro games created a buzz, and not just with us, and not just with cloud gamers. I mean, you had Wario and other people out there, and again, you had Forbes come out there and say, actually, guys, the Stadia Pro games are better than the PlayStation Plus games. Now, I got people riled up. Trust me, I was in my DMs fighting for my life.
No, that's a fact. I've been looking at the comments, and people are like, "Wow, Stadia is actually doing something." Yeah, what did you think? And it's like if they don't play, or they don't know anyone that doesn't play, they just write it off.
They make up anything.
Yeah, and I'm like, that. How does this make sense to you?
It's just people. It's just Twitter. Twitter is Twitter.
Yeah,
Twitter.
So
Twitter,
Twitter, bro. How I look at it is now, like Reddit, and Twitter are the two places where everybody has an opinion.
Don't get me started about Reddit. I mean, I saw?
I don't even use Reddit no more.
Yeah. I mean, we might drop something. Hey, Winter Community Championships is coming, and we just run away. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even want to see them just come out and just start running. Running the trees and stuff like. I don't even want to see the responses.
No.
But what did we see today? I think Pete responded to it too, or somebody responded to it. It was like, when is Stadia going to get Metroidvania games? Like, what the hell's going on here?
Metroid.
Like,
Oh, you're talking about it's a whole other topic we're about to get into too, is Dying Light 2. That's like all they're talking about. I'm like, boy.
But we already got a bunch of Metroidvania games. We got Sunder,
what the hell?
right? Yeah, we got Sunder. We got Bloodstained Ritual, which is the spiritual successor to all the genre.
Literally the spiritual successor to Castlevania Grime. Right.
Like, what are
we
we doing
already
here?
have Metroidvania. Bro, I think when they say Metroidvanias, they don't know how to classify their games. They seriously don't. Those are all technically Metroidvanias, all of them. A Metroidvania, in my opinion, which I believe I'm correct, someone correct me if I'm wrong, is really just an indie game that is both a platform and an action game bundled into one.
Yeah,
but it's a side-scrolling platformer.
Yeah,
that
like in the
is
vein
exactly
of
what
Castlevania exactly.
Yeah,
Who fires a Metroidvania?
Yeah, so it doesn't need to be like indie or anything like that. It's all about exploration where you have to backtrack and gain power-ups like that. So it's like a exploration type of game.
I was doing that in Bloodstain. I passed by the same area like 5 times and was still missing stuff because I would go through an area and then come back and I'm like, how did I miss this?
And it's still fun,
pro game. Well, not a free pro, but it's a pro game for crying out loud. Like,
that's exactly why I got it. I'm actually really enjoying it. I suck and I miss a lot of stuff, but I play it.
Nice.
I think Reddit is full of people, wake up in the morning, they get a text from their girlfriend, it's over, you know what I'm saying? The job fires them, and they just go, what the hell's up with this platform? Why don't you call this thing Stadia? Like, the first thing that comes to their mind is this thing that they type in, and it's just like you avoid at all costs sometimes, Great mods, though. I love the mods. But
the mods are great. Yeah, I'd love to go. I want to go in there and bring some positiveness. Like maybe put one post a day and do something. But I get so scared. I'm like this one time I post something and I saw like dirt on my screen and I was like, oh, they're gonna complain about that. So I just removed it. I was like, oh no, I'm just so scared of Reddit. So maybe someday. I'll go on there.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's. I remember. I'll never forget. I know we're going off topic, it's so funny. I'll never forget. My first Reddit post was when shout out to Windows Central and shout out to Jazz Gordon, right? And he's only doing the thing that he's paid to do, and that's be a cheerleader for Xbox. So he wrote this article. xCloud has Destiny 2, so now that renders Stadia useless. And I'm like, well, not everybody on Stadia plays Destiny 2, Jazz. But secondly, xCloud's Destiny 2 at that time and our Destiny 2 are 2 totally different worlds. So I did a comparison video. And I showed that there were 2 totally different worlds. And the comparison was so bad in the favor of xCloud. I've had prominent Xbox people higher than Jazz up the Xbox food chain. They called me up and they're like, MM2K, why did you do that? Like, you didn't have to do that to us. Like, that was wrong. That was cold-blooded. You didn't have to do it. So even the Xbox people conceded that, okay, this is not an argument that we want to continue on. Except for the Stadia Reddit. I mean, the Stadia, they were like, well, maybe you were pinging from a different tower that wasn't the actual tower.
Oh my God. Are you serious?
I swear. If anybody wants the links, I will show, because I had to laminate these responses because I couldn't believe it. I didn't, I just wanted to make sure they were real.
Make a necklace out of it,
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, make a necklace and, exactly. All type wallpaper. Look. Even the Xbox, I mean, Smock and Panel, the Xbox people conceded so hard. I was just waiting. I mean, the people that were calling me, surprised. I ain't heard from you in a long time. Like, oh wow, they surprised me. I was expecting a call from Phil Spencer or Aaron Greensboro. Like, come on, man, don't do that again. You know what I mean? That's how bad they had conceded that comparison was. And to see the Stadia Reddit defended so vigorously, that let me know what I needed to know, ever since then. So, but shout out to the Stadia Reddit. We love you.
Yeah, Stadia Reddit, man. That's something else.
Oh, Lord Jesus. All right, with that said, let's get back on. Let's get back on track. So, all right. So with that said, fantastic month of Stadia Pro games. It created a lot of buzz. I think it's fair to say that we know that the main attraction was Life is Strange. I mean, people outside of cloud gaming are talking about that.
Right. They're
Life
all
is
like,
Strange.
yeah, I can't wait because they played the original and the story, I haven't even gotten that far and the story is actually amazing. I mean, it's not really my style of game, but I'm
It's
like
different. It's like a movie. It's like an interactive movie.
Sad, dude.
Very mellow. Yeah.
Already the story's
Bro, when
making
I
me sad.
played most recent Life is Strange, like towards the end, bro, I almost cried. That story is so good. Like the
Don't lie,
last
you
couple
cried.
scenes is really
You cried,
good.
Smock. You don't lie.
No, I didn't. But it's
No,
like I
not
wanted to.
Smock.
Like, I could
Smock
feel it.
probably had a tear in your eye and
It was close. It
everything.
was at the tip of the. It was at the tip of the eyelash. Yeah.
He then thought of something else just to try to be tough.
Yeah.
He's like, be tough. Be tough. He's like, don't bring the
That's
tears.
funny.
But you know what
man.
else, guys?
No, but it's very
is excellent about this month so far. Again, Stadia hasn't stopped there. What you see on the screen now, Dawn of Monsters. This came out of nowhere. The next two games basically came out of nowhere. Dawn of Monsters announced for Stadia arriving in March. So what do you guys? What are your thoughts on the game? I'll start with you, Ninja Guy X. What do you think about this game and it coming to Stadia?
Yeah, first of all, shout out to Chronicles of Stadia for putting that on. So that's
Absolutely.
a very good website for news and stuff. So Dawn of the Monsters, man. So I've looked about it a little bit yesterday, and it doesn't look like my type of game. I didn't look too much into it. I looked at the trailer, and it's there. It's by WayForward. It's published by WayForward, which is a very cool company. They release Shantae and all of these games. So definitely, if I can support it, I'll support it. But other than that, I'll need to see more because I'm not sold on the game yet. But more game on Stadia, so I'm still happy, and it's cool. So this is is this like our first reveal of game that's coming out in March? Because I don't think we know other games that's coming out, right? Other than maybe another one that we're gonna talk about soon.
That's it. Yeah. This is about it. Yep.
Yeah. So it's cool, but to me, I'm still on the fence, and I'll see how it's gonna be.
Awesome. Pete, what are your thoughts? Have you been able to see much of Dawn of Monsters, or what are your thoughts of it coming to Stadia?
I have not seen much of it, to be honest, except for the trailer, but it's already got me hooked purely because it's Pacific Rim style, and I watched the crap out of both of those movies, and I love everything about kaiju and giant mechs and giant monsters and them just getting the crap beat out of them. So I'm already hooked despite only seeing the trailer, but I am excited because as usual, this shows that Stadia is still getting games. Is it the games that people are clamoring for? Not necessarily, because they keep thinking indies just are bad, which isn't the case. But yeah, outside of just seeing the trailer, all I had to see was you playing in a mech and beating up giant monsters or whatever you're in, and that's like, you've got me. You've got me. I'm just waiting for it to come out.
Smock, what are your thoughts on this game? Have you seen anything on it, and what are your thoughts of it coming to the platform?
Honestly, I don't know anything about this game. But looking at the photo that's posted on a tweet. I like the comic book style theme that has to like the old 90s, early 2000s comic book style type to it, and then I'm looking at what you have on stream right now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's
And,
like it's like a Godzilla type of fighting game, basically.
yeah.
Right.
It looks interesting. So it might be something. Yes, it's a comic book style game.
Mm-hmm.
It looks interesting. I might give it a try. I don't
Yeah.
mind. I don't mind giving it a try.
I mean,
It's
it
very
depends.
cute.
I mean, we never know. This could launch into Stadia Pro, y'all. We don't know.
Never know.
Yeah.
And that would
If
be
it does,
awesome.
I'm copying it. And I'm
It
sure
reminds me of like Godzilla monsters.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
it's good that you say that, MM2K, because when I say I might give it a try, that's when I would actually give it a try. If it go on
absolutely.
Stadia Pro, or if there would be a deal on it, or something like that, for sure. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. After getting this TV, I got to be very, I got to be very
Looking at it,
yeah.
Exactly. But look, I mean, it's interesting. It kind of gives you like a Rampage, a comic book Rampage type of feel. If you guys ever played Rampage back in the day, I used to be one of those quarter kids at the arcades playing Rampage and stuff like that. So it kind of gives you that feel. Again, is it something that I'm going to be like, okay, this is at the top of my list? Maybe not, but it looks like a cool game. And if it launches in the Stadia Pro, I mean, why not? You know what I mean? So awesome stuff there. With that said, we got one more game here. Let me see here if I can get this game. We got one more surprise game too that I just came out of nowhere from an aforementioned publisher. Oops, what the hell did I do? I tried to bookmark the homepage.
So
Okay,
those two games, they're not officially announced by Stadia. They've been announced by the publishers, which is kind of interesting. Yeah,
exactly.
Is MotoGP 21 already on Stadia?
Yes, as of February 1st. Yes, sir. Yep, it's already there.
Nice. I'm gonna have to get that game too.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people were waiting for that game. It didn't come day and date, but a lot of people enjoy that series. So never mind. I'm gonna let you go on. I'm hoping that this is a trend that we start to see, like maybe, and I think Clive brought this up too. I'm stealing a lot of material from Clive, but maybe NBA 2K21, will show up, maybe like a few months before 22.
Are they made by the same people?
No.
Or is MotoGP Codemasters? MotoGP is Codemasters.
MotoGP's Codemasters. But I'm just thinking, like, what would be the delay for 2021? Maybe it was the deals. Maybe it was the tool sets. Who knows?
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Codemasters, the issue with them and the reason why EA took over for Codemasters, the reason why EA bought them is because they don't have a lot of image when it comes to promoting their games. When it comes to promotions, they don't have that big of an influence. So EA bought them, and look what's going on with Great Legends. That game is popping off right now, and it's not even out yet.
Yeah, and look, and then people are like, "Well, what are EA ain't going to support Stadia no more after this last?"
Bro, I'm still upset that Great Legends isn't coming day and date to Stadia. If it even comes to Stadia, I hope it does.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping too. I think what we're starting to see is the tool sets maybe. People are waiting for those because look, and maybe Stadia was just in a rough patch as far as like the development was concerned because we had 2 Ubisoft games come back to back that were 30 frames per second cap, right?
Yeah,
was
2 new games.
2 new games, exactly. And now we're looking in 2022. Extraction released, and I mean, I didn't play it day one because some people were like, "Oh, day one it was this and that." And I didn't experience that, but when I did play it, I was like, "This is a great port. This is a great port." So maybe that's what it is. Maybe they're waiting for the tool sets to get easier to use or something like that. We'll see.
Yeah.
But we got Oddballers, y'all, from Ubisoft coming to Stadia, Xbox, PlayStation, Luna, PC, Nintendo on March 24th. This tweet is courtesy of our good friend John Sky. I think we've heard of that guy before. And this is the new Ubisoft article. Throw anything and everything at your friends. I think what is that dodgeball game that's so popular?
Yeah, it's the dodgeball game. I forgot the name of it. It's like something city, right?
Yeah,
something city.
Yeah,
Knockout
sure.
City. Yeah.
Knockout City.
Yep, there you go. Knockout City. I think I think this may be Ubisoft's attempt at that, or maybe
Version
I
of
don't
it.
know.
Yeah, that's the first thing that I thought of. Literally, it's like,
Mhm.
yeah, just more wacky and than that game is.
Yep.
But
You know, I mean,
that game came and went. Jeez.
oh my God,
And I'm
didn't it?
thinking
Yeah,
about it.
yeah, exactly. You're right. Because like no one's talking about it. Oh, this is the next Fortnite. Then it's like we can't even remember the name now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So just shows you the wonders of the game industry. So yeah, I mean, just real quick, guys, whoever wants to kick it off. I mean, again, maybe this game is not our cup of tea, but
You know what? Since this game is so different, I actually wouldn't mind giving it a try, just because we don't have anything else besides Knockout City.
Gotcha.
We don't have any other game that's really like
Yep.
this. You
So
know,
yes,
it's the same thing with Riders Republic. The reason why that game is still doing pretty good is because there's no other game on the market that can feed that type of I don't know, that type of taste for the game.
Yep. And I hope Ubisoft is working on a patch to get at least that to 60 frames per second. If you don't want to get far, I mean, I think there's something with that Denia engine that the Far Cry games run off of, to where it just complicates 60 frames per second. But if there's any game that you can get 60 frames per second to, it would need to be Riders Republic. You know.
Yeah, I don't see. I can't. It's. I love that game, but I would play that game way more if it was 60 frames.
Exactly.
It's the same thing with the crew.
Yeah,
But then when I found out that the crew just has a bad port overall on next gen, I that's when I was like, okay, I'm not mad anymore, because everybody had the same bad experience.
Everybody has a problem with this damn thing. Yeah, I got you. Awesome.
And that game is still getting not to go off.
Oh no, go ahead. Yeah,
the crew 2 is still getting content. They're still dropping new cars. They just came out with their latest the new episode or whatever for like exploring the map, to get people to explore the map for it. And they come out with news. They're still coming out with new cars. Like that game is that the support for that game is unreal.
It's crazy.
Cool.
It's crazy. Yeah. Yep. It's crazy that it's like you said, it's a bad port, when we know that, Stadia can do better and deserves better. I mean, you look at games like I play, I was just talking in my 4-hour Bibble Babble yesterday. I was just talking about how I really changed my litmus for King of Ports. We always talked about that here.
Yeah.
I made it Resident Evil Village. Why did I make it Resident Evil Village? Because that's the idealistic situation. The game is a big AAA game that's a system seller, and it drops day and date on Stadia, and the port is fantastic.
Yep, I miss games coming out like that. Like,
exactly.
When are we gonna? I understand. Like, these games are massive games, and I understand. Past, like, put in the games for past gen, PS5, Xbox One, PC, Stadia, and the cloud. That's a lot of work for a developer for massive games, But if it takes, like, developers and the fans need to start rushing developers, and developers need to start feeding into fans, rushing them to get a game out, because it's literally now. And I'll never forget this. I was listening to a podcast. I don't know what I was listening to, but I was listening to a podcast, and somebody said the game's profit comes after the game is already released. Like the hype on the game is going to sell it day one, but really the money is made after the game is already done, because all the fixes and all the things are going to come after to bring players back, to get people back, buying stuff, little transactions and things to actually make the money. So, and it's true, because look at all these games that's coming out now that is a bad port, or just a bad, just come out with a bad launch, and then they're fixing it over time.
Yeah,
So,
I know. It's a sucky norm now, definitely.
Yes.
Well, you know what? I'm going to switch it up a little bit, because I know I had next up on the agenda acquisition concerns. But I think what we're talking about now is perfect for the next one, which is is Dying Light 2
Oh,
coming to
Yeah.
the
can we please,
platform?
bro? I got
Let's
something to
go
say
there.
about this. I
Yeah.
got something to
Okay.
say.
So I'm gonna set it up for you, Pete, and then I'm gonna let you just knock it down. So let's talk about it, y'all. Let me. So there's a rumor, and shout out to the homie Cheeky Bionic. I should have never even got off the web thing. So you guys are gonna have to hear the music again. Let me show you something. But and it was funny because me and Pete were chatting just a tad bit early that morning. I just dropped my wife off. I couldn't go to sleep. Pete sent me a message, and I had just missed it. I'm like, I'm going to bed. I'll hit you up later. But I did see this where, if you translate it, it says, "And boom, Stadia is gone," but that doesn't mean anything. What is he talking about? Dying Light 2, when you look at the UK and some of the other international sites, it has Stadia listed. It said, it talks about all the other.
This site too.
Yeah, that is right. Yep, that is right, because I did check that too. So it had like Stadia listed as far as like getting the digital version. And at first I thought it was, this was a mix up. They meant to put GFN, you know what I mean? But then when you look at Stefan's tweet, when they fixed it, they didn't add GFN in as a replacement. They just took Stadia off. So in some shape, form, or fashion, Stadia somehow is attached to this game. We don't know what it is or what level it is. But I'm going to ask, starting with Pete, what is the deal with Stadia 2, a Dying Light 2 rumor? Do you think this is a mistake, or whatever you want to talk about, Pete? The mic is yours.
Okay. No, I do not think that it is honestly a mistake, because they wouldn't have even bothered putting it in the description in the first place if it wasn't going to come, period. And people keep seeming to forget that a long time ago, and I don't know, I have to repeat this every show because it always happens. They said any major changes, any major releases, anything like that are going to be kept under wraps, period. And I don't like it as much as everyone else does, but it's like people seem to have forgotten that, and then they get mad when things get leaked or whatever, and then it just randomly shows up out of nowhere again. So I think that yes, Dying Light 2 will be coming out, and I forgot who I had this discussion with. It was on Twitter that we will be getting it within 6 months of Dying Light 2 coming out on PC, which, as a matter of fact, I bought that on PC because I want to play. Best thing about multiple
That's probably
platforms.
the best part. The best way to play right now is on PC.
Right. So I'm getting that, but within 6 months, I think we will see it come out, because I think the main problem is that devs as a whole are not used to developing for the cloud. With the GFN, it's a little bit easier because
Just a
you're
PC port.
basically just it's a PC port. There's very, very, very little work involved. So I think that's what's gonna go on, and people are gonna be upset because it's not coming day and day. But I don't care, man. I seriously do not care that it's not possibly coming day and date, because of the fact that whatchamacallit, it's doesn't matter to me, because I'm playing games that I haven't played ever, and they came out like
Yeah.
3 or 4 years ago. So
Yeah.
I don't care that it's not coming day and date. I just care that it's coming, period. And the day it releases, all these people that are like, "Oh, Stadia is not ever going to get Dying Light 2." They never said that. Just because it got released or it got listed and then delisted doesn't mean it's never going to come, because Techland has neither confirmed nor denied that it's going to come. They've kept completely silent, and I'm pretty sure it's Google the one that's shutting them up, because Google has a weird habit doing
Yeah.
things like that. When Google wants to lay the hammer down, they lay it down. But yeah, I think it'll come. I bought it on PC in the meantime, purely just because I want to play. But when it does come to Stadia, better believe I'm gonna be playing. I'm gonna buy it again, but just
Yeah.
because I can, and then I'm gonna be walking. I'm gonna be showing everybody I know, everyone I know that I haven't shown yet. I always show them Stadia. I'm like, hey, did you know you can do this? And it outperforms my friend's PS4 Pro. He's like, oh, you have like he doesn't even have Doom Eternal. He's like, oh, I didn't even know it was out. I was like, dude, I've had this game for like quite a while now and went through it and beat it. I was like, he's like, where? He's like, next time you come over, he's like, make sure you bring everything we can play. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll show you. And they're like actually impressed. And I've been showing people a lot of things about it. I even gave one of my friends a Premiere kit that I had because I had an extra one from the promotion. So I was like, hey, I was like, here, you could have this. I already have two. I was like, just take it, enjoy it. So
Yeah.
I'm excited. Yeah, I think it's gonna come eventually. I was like, I'm not worried about it. They would, like I said, they would have never listed it in the first place. And shout out to Jim Barry, even though he doesn't talk to me. Thank you, Jim, for ignoring me all the time. He did search in the, I think he was looking through the JavaScript and stuff. And even though the listing isn't there anymore physically on the page, the code still exists
Yeah.
through the website that Dying Light 2 is.
And that was a
mentioned
great
for.
find by Jim.
That pretty much confirms it.
That there is something either in the works or something is going on, because the fact that it's even in the background code of the website means that it was put there intentionally, regardless
Yeah.
of what thinks.
Exactly.
Ninja Guy X, let's get your thoughts, and then we'll wrap up with Smock on do we think it's a rumor or not? What do you think is going on? You think it was a mistake and someone just had too much bourbon or what?
All right, so I'm a very positive person. Okay, so but I'm also a very very logical person. So I'm going to apologize for what I'm going to say, but so a few months back, we got the same thing happening, right? Like with Scarf, we got like a logo. There's a game called Scarf, yeah. So we got a logo from Stadia, and then they removed it, apologized that it was a mistake, and that. So what I think is happening is that they have a contract with Google Stadia, and then maybe the contract falls off. And the thing is, what they do is that they create those website, those ads and stuff like that. And when the contract falls off, maybe they forget that logo somewhere. And they're like, when people realize it, they're like, oh crap, we forgot to remove that here. So this is my guess. This is what I think. I think that maybe at some point it was supposed to come out on Stadia, but then Stadia maybe something with the contract happened, and maybe it's just not coming out. So this is what I think happened. It could it could be anything. This is just my guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I got you. No, absolutely. Yeah. Smock, what are your thoughts? What do you think is going on here? You think it was a mistake, or do you think that there's more than meets the eye?
What Ninja Guy said made a lot of sense. But my theory is that the reason why they unlisted Stadia is because it's not coming day and date. It's coming later on down the road. So my guess is to avoid any confusion or to avoid anybody, like them getting spammed with emails and everything, they just removed Stadia logo because the game is probably still in development for Stadia, and it's probably going to come at a later date.
Yep. You know what? I'm actually with you on that one. I think I think, and again, none of us are in the boardroom. We didn't sign the contracts. Everything that you heard from every single panel member is plausible. Okay, we're just having the discussion. In my opinion, in large part due to what Pete had mentioned earlier about what Jim discovered. I think that it's coming, but it's coming at a later date. Another thing that puts me in that realm of belief, again, that doesn't make me super confident, just puts me in that realm of belief, is the fact that unlike Scarf, and it was funny that Ninja Guy brought that up because I was going to use that as my example, but unlike Scarf, when that happened with Scarf came out and said, pump your brakes, curb your enthusiasm. This is a mistake, and we don't have any plans at this moment. everybody's been quiet about this. And that's kind of, and what happened here is kind of like serious. You know, you got a major game so far in 2022 that's been listed with Stadia on multiple international sites and even domestically at some juncture, and nobody's come out to deny it. Like even with, I remember, and it reminds me of Apex Legends. Remember when that whole thing with Apex Legends happened?
Yeah,
I think it was the Washington Journal or something, and they swore up and down. They said, no, we were told by a spokesperson at EA that this version of the game was coming out for Stadia as well. And immediately that was denied by EA. So when all those previous scenarios, you had the publisher come out and say, no, it was a mistake, da-da-da-da-da-da. You haven't heard anything yet. So it leads me to believe that something's going to happen. But let's go into the hot tub time machine. I want to do something different. Okay. Let's go into the hot tub time machine. Regardless
how
of
far back
where
we going?
that was the swirling time machine. Let's pretend that it is coming out, and let's just. I don't want to pretend. What if this game? And I know what we believe or what we feel might be happening, but if the game does come out. And if it is stealth released tomorrow, because we don't know anything's possible. I don't want to get anybody's hopes up. It could be anywhere between the realm of what Smock, Pete, and I are saying, all the way to what Ninja Guy X is saying. All of that is plausible. So I don't want to get anybody's hopes up. This is all speculative.
Right.
But if this game does stealth drop tomorrow on Stadia, how would y'all feel about that? I'm going to go in reverse. I'm going to start with Ninja Guy X first. Ninja Guy X, what would you feel if this game does stealth drop on Stadia?
Oh my God, I'd be thrilled, man. Like this, I've seen John play it today, and it looks so much fun. Yeah, right. Yep. And oh man, this looks like such a solid title. It would be really good for Stadia. I wouldn't have any complaints on my part for sure. I might even buy it like on day one if it would release, because it looks like a really solid game. I think it's hard to compare with something else, I guess, but like Far Cry 6 maybe is an open world type of game, right?
Yeah.
So no man, of course I'd be super thrilled if it would come out for sure.
Yep. Smock, what if this game did stealth release on Stadia? What would you? How would you feel about that?
I'm in agreement with Ninja Guy. That would be massive for Stadia, bro. That'll take our grade from a 7 to a 10. Like, bro, I'm pretty sure 90% or 80% of the people in Stadia will probably buy that game.
Yeah. That is. Yeah, I'm in agreement with that. Yeah.
You know.
I know that is there. Would buy. Yeah. Before we get to Pete, because I feel like you guys might kick me off the stage when you hear what I gotta say. Before we get to Pete, I want to give a shout out to Geek to Sneak with the $3 sticker. Thank you so much.
Yes,
Geek
I've
to
seen
Sneak.
that.
We appreciate it, brother.
Thank you.
Pete, what are your thoughts?
It's super appreciative.
Absolutely. Pete, what do you think? If this stuff releases tomorrow, again, just hypothetically speaking, how would you feel about that?
Is he there?
No, he might have had to take a break. Okay, that's cool. All right, I'll take time. I'll take his time and my time. Now, I want to precurse what I'm about to say with this, y'all, before y'all throw me off the SSC podcast. All right, and it becomes
disclaimer. Yeah.
Before it becomes the Ninja Guy X Daryl Smock show. Before y'all throw my behind off here. I've said it a billion times that all Stadia needs to do for me in 2022 is get Dying Light. I even said not dang date. They get Dying Light, I'm happy. Now again, go ahead. What are you gonna say, Smock? Go ahead.
I think they can. I mean, I think they are in some types of talks with the developers of Dying Light, because ain't no way Say the Name is just gonna be there for no reason.
I believe that there was some conversation. I'm with you guys on that one. And I'm going to be one of those 80% that buy the game. But I'm going to be happy that the game is there, but I'm going to be disappointed at the strategy.
Right. Yes. That's a good way to say that. Absolutely.
Yeah,
I agree.
That would be, I want to hammer this in home. I remember Clive was in there and he was like listening to my show and he's like, all right, let's see if you go too far off the reservation. I really want to hammer this home in 2022 because in 2021, there were a multitude of conversations where it was like, the stealth drops are great. They're fantastic. This is what we want to do across the board. And I always cautioned against them. Like for games that I really think won't push the needle so much as far as conversations here or to give people heartache on Twitter, stuff like that. I mean, you know what I mean? If you want to bring like Scott Pilgrim, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We already got that game, but if you want to stealth release Scott Pilgrim or Oddball or whatever the hell that game is, fine, do that. But for a big game, that potentially is a system seller.
You got to bring some hype.
You got to bring some. You got to have different templates for different things. And I feel, okay, Life is Strange, stealth drop that, boom. It's a remake or a remaster. That makes sense. But you treat Dying Light 2, even though off initial Metacritics, it may or may not be as good. Who knows? We'll see. We all got to find out for ourselves. But a game of Dying Light 2's caliber, when you bump it up against the fact everybody's anticipation, you got to handle it like how you did Resident Evil at the very least. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, you got to give people some anticipation because look, people are going to upgrade PC. Like you got all this talk, and we're going to get into this a little bit. You got all this talk about it being 1080p 60 on performance mode on consoles. People may hear that and be like, well, damn, it's not coming to Stadia. Damn, I got to go beef up my PC. They go buy a $400 card or whatever. That's $400 they could be spending on Stadia.
Exactly. Thank you.
I just don't like that. I don't like that stress. So I'm hoping. I mean, if it happens tomorrow, it just happens. But I hope the walk away, learn away lesson, because I've seen people on now the Twitter. There's a lot of belly aching and crybabyism, and it just turns my stomach. But I did sympathize with this. If somebody said on Twitter, if Dying Light 2 comes on Stadia, I'm not buying it. I just went and invested in a $400 card. I'm you know what I'm saying, right, to get it there.
Right.
You know what I mean? So. Again, it's not the end of the world. I'm still buying it. You know what I'm saying? You know, and I'm going to shut the hell up afterwards. But I want to be on the side of the stealth drops they have a space. And I don't think this is the space. Pete, I'm going to tell you, I took your turn. So Pete, what are your thoughts? So if this were to drop day and date tomorrow in a stealth fashion, what do you think about it?
I'm refunding it on PC and I'm getting it on Steam.
Yes. Nice.
Yeah.
Yes, I get it. Yep.
That's an easy answer. I will refund it in a heartbeat.
But that goes with what MM2K said, right? Like you wouldn't even have bought it on PC if you know.
Exactly. Yes, you wouldn't even have to go through that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't care. I will refund it in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
One thing that I want to add before we move on.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Is we shouldn't have to do this, but I think that Stadia, like the people behind Stadia, you know, the team behind Stadia, I think they are really community driven. Like, meaning if a lot of us gets on Twitter and said we want Dying Light, it will put pressure on them to get that game because it worked. And this is just my theory. It worked with Cyberpunk, and it worked with Outriders. It worked because one thing that I've noticed is that there was a lot of buzz from every community around those games in our community. You know, and people was tweeting at Stadia like, "Yo, we got to get this game. We got to get this game." You know, and I think that Dying Light is a big game, but I don't think that a lot of people are being vocal about how
Yeah,
much they
I
want this
agree.
game.
Mm.
They just straight up say, "Hey, we want Dying Light." Okay, you're just mentioning it, but you're not really like saying, "Hey, you got to get this game on the
Yeah,
platform." Asking
yeah,
Yeah.
people, "Where is
Yep.
it?" Make it known that you want it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Please do. Yep.
Because Stadia community, like our community right now, is pretty unique in terms of no other community is this tight knit with everybody that's involved with Stadia. You feel me? Like I feel like I think we as a community we have a good relationship with the people that's running Stadia, you know?
Yep.
And with us being more vocal, I believe we'll land a better chance at games coming to the system,
I totally
to the
agree.
platform.
Oh,
And
100%.
and I'm glad you said that, Smock, because that's the exact reason why I at nauseum kept bringing up Dying Light 2, because I know people wanted it on the platform, but I think people were, I don't want to say defeatist attitude, but they were getting reserved. They were just like, well, it's not
Yeah.
coming, so cool.
Yeah.
Woe was us, and they were just moving on. I'm like, no,
gotta
open
get
your
this game.
mouths. Closed mouths don't get fed. I was told
Exactly.
that, since a little toddler. Closed mouths don't get
Yep.
fed. So
My mom told me that.
exactly. Yep.
Like,
So that's why I kept trying to help spawn and spur word of mouth anticipation for I thought my cat wanted to get out. Hold on one second. Yeah. I was trying to spawn word of mouth participation for the game. And you're starting to see it pick up a little bit, but I think there's way more people that want it on a platform that are saying something about it. Absolutely.
yeah.
Yep.
All right. In regards to it coming to the platform, and this kind of concerns me, it coming day, that when I'm looking at this, and I'm like, maybe we want it to come at a later time. You know what I'm saying? Two big stories that were dropping out. Let me put them on the screen.
This is gonna be my favorite topic.
The review scores are like the average Metacritic so far is, well, at this time that Nebellion wrote about it, it was 82, but it's like 78 or something like that. I'm not too big about the Metacritic. The thing that concerns me is they're talking the bugs. They're like, this thing is like super buggy. IGN reported that it had more in the review copy that they got. There were more bugs than Cyberpunk. Granted, out. Go ahead. What you say, Daryl?
Might just be saying that. I don't believe it.
Yeah.
That actually regarding that is apparently the devs weren't even, or none of the reviewers were using a day one patch, which addresses a lot of those bugs.
Yeah, exactly. And that's another reason why I'm not super concerned. And like you said, if I am getting it outside of the Stadia platform, I'm like Pete, I'm getting it on PC. Because what they did say is that the PC version is up to date. It sounds like that. Here's what Techland is doing to me, to where I think it's a gift and a curse to if this game is coming to Stadia. What I think Techland is doing is their bread and butter is really with PCs. Like PC gamers like my son and Pete and other people, all the Techland games, like they make a bulk of their money with the PC gamers. My son loves, like when he found out Dying Light 2 was releasing, he like almost burst into tears. And he's like this big 14-year-old oaf. And I'm like, please don't cry by me because of a video game. Like, stop, go upstairs to your room. That's how much this child loves, because he's a PC gamer at heart. So it sounds like they put all their heart and energy and their time that they were allotted into the PC mode. And for the console gamers, they said, "Hey, look, if you pick it up, okay, great for you." You know what I mean? This is what you're going to get, though.
Well, exactly. That's fair because no matter what, and it's never ever going to be deniable. And people think I'm a Stadia evangelist.
Mm-hmm.
PC
I like
is
that
the
name.
absolute biggest market. It does not matter what anybody says. Nobody will ever be able to deny that. PC is the biggest market, and that's where the focus is always going to be, period. Regardless, it does not matter. Because if you get the PC market, then you can automatically recoup your sales alone, just off the PC. That's just me, though.
Nah, I'm with it. And I totally understand it. Like most of their breakthrough performance has been on PC, period. And then the console people, you know, when version 9.5 came out, then they finally started buying it. You know what I'm saying? And like even Dying Light, at first they made fun of it. Oh, this game is bombing. It stinks. It sucks. You know what I'm saying? On console. And then when Dying Light, the Unforgotten Paths or whatever the hell it was called, you know, the version 8.0 came out for console, then they finally like, oh yeah, Dying Light is a great game. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're here.
Always.
They've been buying it on PC, you know, at that juncture. So yeah, I get it. But my thing is for Stadia, we know it's going to be a PC port. So it kind of might be like the same situation like Cyberpunk where you do get a better version than what even the console people are seeing, possibly. But it does concern me that even the console's performance mode is only 1080p 60. So I don't know. Let's just go across the board real quick. We'll start with Ninja Guy X again, Smock, and then Pete. Ninja Guy X, are you concerned about what we're seeing on the console space about this in regards to a Stadia port, or do you think that the Stadia port is going to be handled fine if the game does come?
Yeah, so you know, we always compare with Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk is a very unique situation, right? Because it really it doesn't happen a lot where like a game like this bugs out so much like this. Usually a game bugs out. Even The Witcher 3, you know, bugs out, but then they did some early patches and it was fine. So if the Stadia version doesn't come out on day one, then I think that they'll have enough time to you know, repair the bugs that they're having from other places, and it shouldn't be an issue. And just to compare it with Cyberpunk, if like usually the port is from the PC version, so again, we might be getting the better version out of all this, which is kind of nice.
Yep. I agree. Smock, what are your thoughts? Would you be concerned because of the consoles, or do you think like Ninja Guy X that because it's going to be a PC port, we might actually be getting a better version?
I'm trying to think of what's been going on in the past with our ports, the ports that we get.
Yep.
Console ports, I guess since we're more looked at as a console than a PC, I'm thinking that the console ports may be a reason why we're not getting day and date, and it's possibly it could impact how soon we get the game. But the only thing I don't want to see is an outright situation where you know the console, like let's say we do get the port like at a later date and we get the base port of the game that still needs to be updated for you know. That's something that I don't want to happen. You know, so I think that it does affect us in terms of how quickly we get it, but I don't think it's gonna affect us on if it's coming or not. You know, because like somebody in the chat, or was it Pete, said that they've never developed for Stadia before, so you know that could be a reason why we're not getting it day and date, because them porting for us is new to them. You know, like we can't forget that Stadia is still a new player in the console game and you know in games. So this stuff is going to happen, you know, and we can't overlook that.
What are your thoughts, Pete, on this? Are you concerned? Would you be concerned with a Stadia port because of the whole console stuff, or do you think that because it's going to be derived from the PC version that we might have a leg up on that? Go ahead, Pete.
That's hard to answer.
It is a tough question.
It is. Yes.
I'm with Smock. Like I don't I don't want it to be an Outrider situation because I
Mm-hmm.
was so incredibly hyped for
Yeah.
Outriders because
Oh
Bro,
my
me,
I was
everybody
gosh.
was. Everybody was.
Oh my
yeah, I was a
That's supposed
massive
to be a
fan.
Destiny killer.
I wanted
Yeah.
Outriders to replace it.
Yeah.
And then I was really, really let down to the point where I demanded a refund. I was like, I'm
Yeah.
done. I was like, that's ridiculous that they even took
Yep.
that long to even bring it up to standard.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think I'm hoping that devs have learned their lesson about that. Like,
I
if
haven't.
you're gonna
I could.
put
I
out
could.
a
I'll tell you
port,
that.
yeah, if you're gonna put out a port, do not make it like the Outrider situation because if you do that, you're gonna lose my trust completely, and I'm not gonna pay any attention to you. I that's just how I am.
Yeah.
Period. I'm actually much more level-headed than people seem to think I am. I literally play games everywhere. I pay
Yeah.
attention to a lot of things. Dude, I grew up from remembering that I was begging to pick up all of the chores because I wanted to buy my first Game Boy.
Nice.
Right.
So it's like I'm not too concerned, but I just want them if they're gonna do a console port, I don't care about 1080 as I'm just gonna upscale it to 1440 if it does
Yeah.
come to Stadia regardless. So
Yeah.
I'm not one of those people, even being a PC gamer, I still play most of my stuff on 1080 or 1440 anyway.
Me
So
too.
it's like yeah, it's like I I'm not super concerned as long as the game is stable. If the game is stable, I do not care if it's 1080. Now, if it's something like 720p when I'm trying to play Dishonored on xCloud for whatever reason, then no thank you. But as long as the
Yeah.
game is stable and it's 1080, I'm cool with all of it.
Yeah. The one thing I want to add before we move on, not to, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
trying to throw a dirt on Outriders, but to me, the Outrider situation was way worse than the Cyberpunk situation. It
Oh,
was way worse.
100%.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Way worse.
Huh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
That and at Far Cry 6, it was like a disappointing moment for Ubisoft, definitely. And it made me wonder if Extraction was going to get 30 FPS also. So at least they're coming back. But yeah, hopefully we get something like a
I
60
take a Far
FPS
Cry
patch
6.
at some point.
I
What's
take a
that?
Far Cry 6 over Outriders.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Any day of the week.
Oh, man.
Like even to this day, Outrider still doesn't run like it should
It should
on Stadia.
100%.
It
I
doesn't.
rebought it
Yeah.
on sale and I still like dropped it like probably like a week after. It just
Yeah.
isn't. They haven't really added content. It's a lot better than it was, but it hasn't just
It's unfortunate.
it's garbage.
It's
I'm sorry,
unfortunate.
Square. I love you, but like the game's garbage. Don't ever do that to me again.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunate is such a funny word because it's totally true. It's just an
Yeah.
unfortunate situation.
So
Well, unfortunate is my way of
Yeah.
like not being too negative, like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
bullshit. No.
Yeah, no, hey, look, I get it, but like,
Yeah.
I mean, I wanted to play this game so bad that I actually was like, oh, this new port, the latest version is great, but then you look in the draw distances and everything looks like Minecraft, and you're like, come on, you can do better than this. Like even GFN's priority tier looked better, and that's saying, and I hate to say it, that's like saying a lot. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's a Square Enix thing. I think that's a Square Enix thing. Like Square Enix has been with the as far as AAA games, with the exception of the Avengers. I think the Avengers was a good port. Excellent port.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that,
Yeah.
but I would say it's a good port. With the exception of Avengers, all the AAA efforts, Final Fantasy and then Outriders, everything they put on Stadia was like, yeah, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
Bro, don't ever.
I still
ever
need to
put
get
Final
that game, the Avengers
Fantasy and
game.
Outriders in the same sentence,
Yeah.
because those are
Oh,
like totally different calibers. And I just got back into Final Fantasy 14 after like 5
Bro,
years.
I know a YouTuber. My favorite YouTuber, my favorite gaming YouTuber is called Afro Senju. He put like 3,000 hours like
oh wow.
into Final Fantasy 14, probably more because he like literally he would upload um every other day or like a couple times a week But since Final Fantasy 14 has came out, this dude has been literally he went dark on everywhere, like everywhere
Yeah,
except for Twitch because he's live streaming.
before I took a break, I legit threw almost 700 hours into it, like, and no problem. I
Yeah,
was like, oh my god,
it's
what's wrong with me?
crazy. It's crazy how
It's
addictive
so
how good that
good.
game is.
It's so good. There's so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get into that as soon as I can fix these issues with my LGC1. Then I'll be playing that too. All right, well that's great stuff, y'all. I mean, I just felt like it was important to have the conversation because a lot of people like Pete had pointed out, a lot of people were belly aching about it, and I'm with the panel. And I like what Smock said. I like what Ninja Guy X said. We don't want a rushed bad port. You know what I mean?
No.
Like if it's coming, which none of us really know, we have our speculation or whatever. But if it's coming, Outriders. That's all I gotta say. Like, you know what I mean? Like the game came about 6 months too early. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if they need an extra 6 months to brush it up or whatever. Now, if they got it together, kind of like how they had Cyberpunk and somebody else's work, I think the big tall tale would be is if Techland had to do the port themselves. If Techland had to do the ports themselves, I don't want it coming day and date because they don't have experience with the platform, and all that other stuff. And then
cloud in general.
Exactly. And apparently they didn't have as much time on their hands because they couldn't optimize the console versions. If they have a porting house working on it, like a Q-Lock or somebody like that, then that's different. Then because that's what made the magic for Cyberpunk. It wasn't CD Projekt Red for the Stadia version. That was Q-Lock that made that magic happen and made it so smooth on the Stadia version. So,
Yes, same thing. That's why Control is so smooth on the console,
Yes.
on the platform, is because it's been done by a someone. I'm not exactly sure who, but yeah, it was done by
porting
another
house.
house. Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. That's the way. If it's done that way, then great. We're good to go. But if not,
Yep.
Lord
Take
help
all
us
the
all.
time you need.
Exactly.
Otherwise, yeah.
Help us all. All right, let's get to the final topic real quick because we want to squeeze in a super quick, and we all want to beat the pinata of Phil Spencer and what he said in the After Hour show. But let's get to the last topic, which is if I can find it here. Oh, acquisition concerns. Woo! So
this one's probably my favorite topic of the day.
So we're gonna start off with Daryl Smock in that case then. So
Definitely.
Daryl, we got Microsoft that bought Activision Blizzard. We got Sony that bought
Bungie.
Can you give us the here's how the question is gonna go. Bear with me. I know I throw these up here and they're like crazy, but your thoughts on both of those deals. Like any differences or what you feel about those deals. And do you think these deals are setting a bad precedent? It's all yours.
So my thought, I honestly think the Sony deal was more significant than the Xbox deal because what Xbox is doing in my head is they're trying to save Activision Blizzard because they have, like in terms of their leadership is terrible right now with all the lawsuits that they have going on and bad workplace environment and all that, So Xbox, what they're doing, I think, is trying to save it. Then of course, it's a chance for them to make headlines to create some buzz because as soon as Xbox bought Activision Blizzard, their stocks skyrocketed, and it's probably settled out now. But their stocks went up. That's the whole reason why they're doing it, is to create some press. And Sony, the same thing with Sony. The reason why they're buying Bungie, the reason why they bought Bungie, is to answer back. I think it's kind of an answer back, but honestly, I don't think Bungie would ever sign with Microsoft only because of the bad relationship that they have with Activision. And Bungie wants nothing to do with Activision. So Sony, it made a lot of sense for Sony to buy Bungie. But so my thoughts is going to be a little different. They're not buying Bungie more for the games. They bought Bungie because Bungie is trying to get more into the entertainment side of things in terms of like create like a series or a movie. Because I like I said, Destiny 2 is my favorite game. That means I follow everything that Bungie is doing. So Bungie is trying to create an alternative universe that's kind of like parallel to Destiny's a new IP. And I think that's going to be a series, either a series or a movie. And I think Sony is going to help them out with that because Sony,
Ooh.
Sony, the heads of Sony is already made a statement that they're not going to touch anything that's Destiny 2 related. They're not touching anything. They're stepping back from that. They're going to get more involved on the entertainment side to get Sony, the things that they need, the tools that they need to get noticed, to get recognized, globally and internationally. So that's where Sony is stepping in. So I think the deal is a good deal if they stick to their promise, and I don't think it affects Stadia in any way, shape, or form.
Gotcha. We'll go to Pete. Pete, what do you think about the Microsoft deal, the PlayStation deal? Do you think these are setting a bad precedent for the industry?
Mm, I want to break that into a few parts real quick. So
This is gonna be a long answer.
okay. So part of it, I'm with Smock, even though yes, Bungie and PlayStation's deal was a lot smaller on the price tag. It's more significant for them because they have a much tighter relationship than Xbox does with Activision because they've been working together for quite a few years already.
Yep.
And I remember that with Destiny 1 and certain raids and weapons and
Exclusives.
stuff being PlayStation only for a long time before it came to every other platform.
Yeah.
I used to be really big on Destiny before I
It was
started
like at
going
least
back
2
on and
years or
off.
something.
Yeah, it was like at least like 2 years before they started getting certain things to other platforms because of an exclusive deal with PlayStation. Um, but it's as if people only are paying attention to the price tag and they're all like, "Oh wow, Xbox just blew them out of the water because they just spent 70 billion on Activision Blizzard." But you don't have that tight relationship with Microsoft and Activision Blizzard. You don't have that cohesiveness. And from what I looked up, I want to say that yes, Activision Blizzard basically had to find someone to buy them. Otherwise, the whole thing was going to go down because they are like bigger than the Titanic when it comes to just going straight up downhill. You're getting butchered on all sides because of the scandals going on, the work environment, all of that. So of course Microsoft is like, "Hey, come on in." I was like, now we just have this whole suite of content to come in, and I think that's what happening is Xbox is focused on content, PlayStation is focused on tighter partnerships, and in the end, again, I'm just on the completely opposite of the spectrum and y'all are going to call me crazy as all hell, but partnership is going to win in the end. You have a better partnership, you have better content, you have more stable content. Then you have Xbox that might have the content, but you don't have people working together so closely. And it's going to take Microsoft time to bring everybody up to speed on the same page. So, really, I think that's my thought on it. Now, as for setting a precedent, I can't tell whether I like it or not because you have all of these people that are so addicted to exclusives saying that that's the only thing that matters. But with the moves that Xbox is doing and PlayStation is doing, I think exclusives are still going to exist, but they're all going to be timed exclusives.
Yeah.
You're going to try to get people to come to your platform within that time.
Yeah.
And then it's just going to go multi-platform because they're starting to see that if you try to keep something on a simple platform, you're alienating the rest of the markets, especially the markets that are bigger, like the PC market, for example. Like Escape from Tarkov is actually a very, very, very big fan base, but it's PC only.
Yeah, that's
And you're alienating all of the console and the cloud markets
The
because
majority.
because Tarkov is strictly only on Steam. It's not on GeForce Now. It's not on anything because they have their own launcher and everything. But yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. Can't really tell whether it's good or bad, at least for right now. The only thing is, I'm just going to wait and see. Screw what everybody else says about it being bad or anything like that. Consolidation can be good and bad depending on the direction that you're going to take it. And as of right now, nobody knows what's going to happen. It's just purely speculation, and they're saying the same thing that they have for years, and they're going to wait.
Yeah.
You just have to wait and see.
Great point. We got Ninja Guy X. Ninja Guy X, what are your thoughts on these deals? Microsoft, PlayStation, and do you think they set a bad precedent?
Yeah, so I mean, Foremost and Smog pretty much covered everything, so I don't have much to talk about that. I pretty much agree with these guys. I mean, they bought them. I don't think it's always going to be exclusive. Maybe timed exclusive, like Foremost said, Pete. And the thing is, like right now we're not gonna see it affect on anything, right? Like all the games are already planned out. Destiny 2 is already out on Stadia, so we'll see the DLCs in there for sure. Will we see Destiny 3 on Stadia? That maybe not. Like maybe we will. Maybe we won't. We'll see then. But we'll definitely see maybe some changes, like maybe in 5 or 10 years, But we're not there yet, so I'm not too concerned about it. On my end. But yeah, other than that, Smock and Pete covered pretty much everything else. So I definitely agree with them.
All right, so then we'll start with you. This is our final question of the show. All right. Start with you, Ninja Gags. What do you think? Do you think that these acquisitions force Google/Stadia's hands? Do they got to get into the game? And if they, regardless of what you think, if they do or if they don't have to get in, if they were to make an acquisition, who would you like to see them pick up? So again, the question again, and we'll start with you, Ninja Gags, before we close out is, do you think this forces Stadia's hand or Google's hand? And if they were to make an acquisition, who would you like to see them pick up?
Yeah, so it doesn't really force Google anything because right now they're not like 100% in the game. Like they closed their SENG market. I don't want to, sorry for bringing that up again because we always bring it up. But
my heart. Oh,
right. Yeah. No, but I don't feel like they're 100% in, and I wish that they would be. Like I wish that they would put more money inside. I wish that they would be forced to do, to compete with them. But right now they're kind of like Nintendo. They're just like their own thing. Yep. They're they don't really compete or anything. So they're just there trying to build up their own thing. So hopefully that works out. And if I wanted them to buy a company, of course Ubisoft, since they have such a good relationship with them, right, already. Yeah. So it would be so cool to see them acquire Ubisoft and do some great things about them, since they already have the what's the word I'm looking at? Not the art, like the foundation. They have like the foundation with them and already know everything about Stadia. So it would be great.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to Pete next, and then we're going to close out with Smock. Get Smock's thoughts on it last, and I'm going to close out. But Pete, what do you think? Do you think that this forces Stadia or Google's hand? And regardless, if they were to pick up a company, who would you like to see them pick up?
Either Take-Two. I would like to see them either pick up Take-Two or Ubisoft. My only issue with that is that I don't think that Ubisoft is going to sell to anybody because Ubisoft is literally everywhere, and that's how they're making their money, period. If anything, I do believe that Stadia may be targeting acquisitions, but I don't think they're targeting the acquisitions that people think they are. I think that they're going to be targeting more VR studios and all of the lesser known studios that exist, because right now, exactly right now, people are just focused on the developers and the publishers that they know. But the fact is there's a whole market to just snap up and acquire. And but people aren't seeing that because they don't know everything that's out there. They only know what they can recognize and whose name is already out there, like Activision or Blizzard or 2K or anything like that. But right now, as much as people might hate it, Stadia is home of the indie dev. Period. And the indie devs right now are the ones that are killing it because they're the ones bringing all of the new game styles, all of the new art styles, and a lot of the games are actually super fun. And people are saying that, and I see it in chat. For example, Todd L, I see you. Google does have a lot of money. You're
They have a lot
absolutely
of
correct.
it.
Yes,
A lot of it.
but that money isn't all focused on Stadia. You have to think about everything that Google is covering. They're covering multiple departments, and each department has a budget. And just because Google has a lot of money doesn't mean all of it is specifically for Stadia alone. And they're not going to divert money from things like GCP or YouTube or anything like that are their money makers right now. So yeah, right now that's their bread and butter. So you have to keep that in mind that, yeah, they have a lot of money, but not all of it is going to be directed to Stadia. I'm just going to be real because they probably have like 200 or 300 different departments that they have to cover because Google is just that big. So I think Google is going to be acquiring studios. Good, it's going to be all of the lesser known studios, just like the VR studio that they acquired, and how there was that report that there's a VR game that they're working on that's cloud based. Google's going in a different direction, and it's going to end up shaking the industry, whether people want to believe that or not. To me.
Nice.
All right.
Let's be real, Pete. Let's be real, Pete. We want Stadia to acquire Square Enix, like that's the company we want, right? Definitely.
Imagine.
That would be the best pickup.
You're not
definitely. Yeah.
Imagine
that would be the best pickup. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So Smock, we're gonna close out with you, brother. Smock, what do you think, man? First and foremost, does this force Google or Stadia's hand, these acquisitions? And if they were to make an acquisition, who would you like to see them pick up?
Right. You know what? Google, Square Enix would even be a bad acquisition for Google. It would honestly be good because we would get Final Fantasy 14 and the rest of the Final Fantasy games.
True.
You know,
yes,
years. So that'll honestly be a good acquisition. But realistically, I don't think it forces Google. Well, it doesn't force Stadia's hand because it's too early to tell what's going to happen. Yeah. But I think they should do an acquisition, I think, and they should go about it as more of what Sony and Bungie is doing, because it's more of a partnership. It's more of them solidifying a partnership than Sony is coming in and taking over everything. I think they're going to get something out of it because they paid $3 billion, so they're going to get something out of it. But I would want to see Google just solidify their partnership with Ubisoft and say, listen, let's let Google buy part of Ubisoft just so Stadia can say their name is stamped on every single Ubisoft game that comes out, no matter what. You know, if they can just do that with different developers, I'm happy with that. But I don't think Stadia is gonna just physically take over a whole company. I think they should do more of a partnership style type thing.
Yeah. Kind of that kind of reminds me, Smock, of what Sony did with Epic. Like Sony said, yeah, you guys are about to do some crazy stuff. We want in on it. I got 5 on it. They just put in and put some money in. And look, and then look at the result. They had that.
Yeah.
Where did they demo their new tech at? The what's it called, tech, and then all that other stuff. So they I mean, even though it's available on Xbox too, the fact that they keep showing PlayStation with it, you know what I mean? That's a strategic partnership that's definitely going to benefit PlayStation in the long run. I like that idea that there should be some type of strategic partnership to where, okay, we're invested into you, so now you have a strategic interest in making sure that our ports aren't dog doo-doo. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And just to respond to saying Ubisoft won't sell, look at Activision. Like, bro, who would have thought Activision would be bought by somebody? Like, what did I don't think anybody here would have think like, dang, like Activision is in trouble. They might want to get bought. They didn't make no signs of them wanting to sell.
Yeah.
It's just this news came out of nowhere. So if they can do it, I know Ubisoft can do it. And another reason why I just got reminded of this because I spoke about it before. But and I don't want to be harsh, but Ubisoft is kind of in a lot of trouble right now because their games are not doing too hot. Like,
really?
Ubisoft is they're like the thing that's really keeping Ubisoft alive is the Rainbow Six franchise and them fixing and Ubisoft fixing Ghost Recon, but a lot of their new announcement is not being like they're getting a lot of pushback from fans. Like, with them trying to step outside the box and with them their leadership has to really move carefully on what they're doing, with these new games that they're coming out with because Ubisoft right now is okay, but they're also in hot water because I've never seen an announcement for a game get that many more dislikes than likes on an announcement before. Like, I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Yeah, and I think if Ubisoft was to partner with somebody, Stadia would be the perfect place because they already have a good relationship with Stadia. It may not be long, like I think it's 3 years, almost 4 years now that their relationship, probably longer. We don't know how long they've actually been in talks, but publicly they've had a 4-year deal, and I think that Stadia is really good for Ubisoft if they was to, go into like a partnership like that with another company.
Yeah, the only thing about that is I think what complicates a Ubisoft purchase is the French laws and the fact that the Yves family, they don't want it. Like when they were about to be taken over by Vivendi, that hostile takeover, they fought that tooth and nail. They wouldn't cry to the gaming community, help us, that's the only reason why I think because honestly, if you look at them compared to other publishers, they're not small, but they're not as big as an EA or somebody like that. You would have think they would have been bought, right? I think it's the complication of the French laws when it comes to the business and stuff like that kind of makes it a little bit more cumbersome. So, but again, who knows? We never know what the future holds. It would probably be smart to strategically partner with them as well. Shout out to Javier Rodriguez for subscribing. Thank you so much, my good friend. We appreciate the support. All right, folks, that's it for today's show. Whoever can stick around on the panel, we're going to do a super quick after-hour show for our prescription members. It's going to take you right over to that. But let's work in reverse order this time. We'll start with Pete. Then we're going to go to Smock, and then we're going to go to Ninja Guy X. Everybody, let everyone know where they can find you. This was a hell of a show. Pete, where can everybody find you at?
All right, as usual, you guys can find me on Twitter at foremost_GG. I promise you, I'm going to start streaming soon. I actually got to go downstairs and get my webcam that apparently showed up according to Amazon.
Nice.
when I upgrade my computer and get another monitor, et cetera, I will be streaming. I will be linking my YouTube channel. I've been trying to get into writing. I just do not have the time to dedicate to it right now, but you can also find me, of course, on pntsnetwork.com. Shout out to that. We're
Yes.
always on there for the SSC as well. But yeah, as of right now, that's where you guys can find me. Keep an eye on my socials. I'm always going around on Twitter talking about basically whatever I want. But yeah, that's where you guys can
He
find me in
means
the
that.
meantime. Yeah, I seriously do. I'll talk about whatever. I don't care. Um, but yeah, keep an eye on my socials, mainly Twitter for any news. I will be making sure to let you guys know whenever I am expanding to new places. But as of right now, find me on pntsnetwork.com and Twitter at foremost_GG.
Awesome, awesome. Smock, let the good people know where they can find you at, friend.
You can find me on Twitter at N2O, the letter O, LA. On there is just me, being me is retweeting random stuff and on there. But if you like hearing me talk, you can follow me right here on YouTube. Just click my name, hit the follow button. I go live. I stream Stadia on YouTube. As soon as like what Formo said, as soon as I get a nice upgrade, I'll start streaming with the face because I want to start doing that right now. It's barely possible on the setup that I have, but I do want to upgrade that. And if you like me, and if you just like hearing me talk in general, you can follow me on Instagram because I go on there and I upload on Instagram as well. Everything that gets uploaded on YouTube is uploaded on Instagram to IGTV, and I just do little rants on Instagram. And I'm writing a book. I'm writing a book that it's going to be my second book.
Oh wow! Okay.
It's called The Book of Dreams. It's about little dreams that I have. If you want to follow me along that journey, follow me on Instagram. It's actually a really fun project that I'm doing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Last but certainly not least, Mr. Game. He games so much that he forgets the games that he's playing. Mr. Ninja Guy X. Where can everybody find you at, my friend?
Yeah, so you guys can find me on Twitter at NinjaGuyX and on YouTube at NinjaGuySpaceX. And I'm so kind to you guys that I'm even gonna paste a URL in the chat. So
all right,
if you
All
like
right.
to subscribe to my channel, I do morning streams every day from Monday to Friday, and yeah, I really enjoy it. And yeah, if you like my energy, go ahead and give that a try. And on Fridays, I have another show that I co-host with John Scar, which is called Stadium Connect North. And we talk about Stadia news, and it's a community-driven podcast or talk show. So yeah, hope to see you guys there. And that's pretty much it for me.
Great. And of course, I'm
Nice.
Mr. Loudmouth himself, MM2K. You can find me here on Stadia Dosage. I do have my own YouTube channel. It's MM2K videos. Check me out on YouTube. I am going to, well, I've been talking to some people, and I got some game codes, some non-Stadia game codes coming, so I'm going to be doing some giveaways there. I also got some trials, so possibly coming. Dying Light 2. So if I do get them, I'll be streaming them there. I also have a Twitch channel. Everybody's going back to Twitch, so I think I'm going to do the same thing too. I don't want to be left out.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Streaming
Don't
is way
do it.
better on YouTube.
Don't do it.
Yeah,
You have more creative freedom on YouTube.
yeah, like I don't want to play. I don't want to play the wrong song and then have the feds at my house busting out my windows. You know what I mean? So I probably better stay on YouTube. But yeah, I might do something, in some different places. But yeah, definitely check me out on YouTube. It's MM2K videos. On Twitch, it's MOS 2000. And then you can catch me here on Stadia Dosage and then on PNTS Network doing various articles and things like that. All right. So with that said, that is it for today's episode, man. Y'all stay true and with the show, with all my rambling and bambling, we are now going to automate for our members that are prescription members that are on the prescription tier. We are now going to automatically go over and we're going to address this little thing with Phil Spencer, the Man of the Year. He's going to get a Lifetime Achievement Award from Kraft macaroni and cheese or somebody. I don't know who the hell's giving it to him, but he's gonna get a lifetime Cheetos award or something like that from somebody. We're gonna talk about Mr. Spencer and his throwing under the bus Amazon, Google, and Facebook, which I really found peculiar, and him saying that he can't trust any of these companies, but Microsoft, the major conglomerate that has more FTC lawsuits than polka got dots. We're going to see what the panel thinks about that. So with that said, thank you very much. We appreciate and love all of you guys. Matter of fact, let me do this. In case you are a member and it doesn't automatically take you over, let me put in the chat. Let me do this. Link to After Party. All right. There it goes. Just give us a few moments to... what the hell just happened? The weather came up. Okay, I don't want the weather. Link to the after party is right there. Give us a few moments to figure out who can stay and what we're going to do, and we'll be